water they have going downstream at that point. They can also tell you if there are any contaminants in the water. So if you decide to start dumping anything in this river or taking any water out of it, you have another thing coming. You will get caught, because they do keep a very close eye on this river. In 1869, a man named John Wesley Powell was in charge of a surveying party for the government and the railroad. He had built himself a special boat he called the Emma Dean. In the middle of that boat, he built an armchair. You see, Powell had lost one of his arms in the Battle of Shiloh, serving on the USS Grant. He gathered 9 men, 4 boats, and food for 10 months. On May 24th, he strapped himself into the armchair and set out from Green River, Wyoming. Passing through dangerous rapids, the group passed down the Green River to its confluence with the Colorado River, then also known as the Grand River upriver from the junction. Coming out on the lower end where the Mormons had already settled and explored near present-day Moab, Utah. They completed their journey on August 13, 1869. Powell's expeditions led to his belief that the arid West was not suitable for agricultural development. He told the government that if they didn't put this river in some kind of reservoir and try and save the spring runoff, it would be of no use to anyone, except for the 2% of the lands that were near the water sources. His report on the lands of the arid regions of the United States proposed irrigation systems and state boundaries based on watershed areas to avoid disagreements between states. The government ignored him at the time, and in 1905, they were diverting the water into Imperial Valley. Due to sand and settlement built up that year, during the spring runoff, the river changed its entire course and emptied into the Imperial Valley, taking the Salton Sink and Salton Basin and turning it into the Salton Sea. It took them until 1907, with the help of the railroad, to get the river back down to the Sea of Cortez. In 1909, they built their first dam on the Colorado River down by Yuma. They called it the Laguna Dam. Not a very big dam, but big enough to keep the water from going back down into the Salton Sea. In 1931, the government finally decided to start construction on their first major dam up in the Black Canyon of Boulder City. On September the 30th, 1935, 2 years ahead of schedule, they designated that dam in honor of our 31st president, Herbert Hoover. Later, they changed the name to Boulder or Boulder City Dam, but in 1947, a congressional act changed it back to Hoover, and it's been Hoover Dam ever since. In 1955, they designated it as being one of the 7 engineering architectural wonders of the world. At 726.4 feet high, it's almost 70 stories tall, is 1,244 feet across at its crest, and has 17 generators. Hoover Dam backs up Lake Mead. Lake Mead has a shoreline of 822 miles. The second and third dams to be built on this river were the Imperial Dam in Yuma and the Parker Dam in Parker, Arizona. They were both completed in 1938. Parker Dam has a little story behind it. When California decided to build Parker Dam, they told Arizona's Governor Moore that they weren't going to let Arizona have any of the water. Well, that upset Governor Moore, made him downright mad. It made him so mad that he chartered a ship called the Nellie, put the militia on it, and activated the Arizona Navy. He brought it and anchored it up on the Arizona shore across from where California was wanting to build Parker Dam. He brought in 100 National Guard troops, declared martial law, and would not let California build the dam. After 11 months of negotiations, California finally agreed to let Arizona have some of the water. But to this day, this is still the most argued over, fought over, and litigated body of water in the United States. Parker Dam backs up Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu supplies the city of Los Angeles with 1 billion gallons of water daily for culinary use. This is why California wanted to build Parker Dam. They built an aqueduct from Lake Havasu to Los Angeles that branches off and goes south along the coast to San Diego and is capable of pumping 1 million gallons of water per minute. It is the largest aqueduct in the Southwest. It also was designated one of the 7 engineering, architectural wonders of the world. Lake Havasu also supplies the cities of Phoenix and Tucson and numerous communities in between with